Oh, this is M Spatial, a Biafran agitating for Biafra freedom, talking about Nigeria, Africa in general, hoping that God, in His wonderful wisdom, will grant us our heart desire as Biafrans to have our independent nation from Nigeria. God bless our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for a great work that he is doing for his own people that he loves so much, the people of Biafra. Thank you for the Eastern Security Network that you, in your wisdom, without waiting further for all of us to be massacred by the Fulani Janjaweed soldiers and militants and Mieti Allah, and you bridged the gap by launching a security to secure the people of Biafra even when you are not in Biafra land. May God continue to bless you, continue to grant you wonderful wisdoms, continue to protect you and your family and IPOB family worldwide. This evening, I say good evening to all my viewers, good morning, good afternoon, according to your time zone. With all my viewers, all my subscribers, the old and the new ones, Happy New Year. As we all know, this is 2021 again. It's moving on. We just entered the second month. I pray that God will grant us the grace to finish the year in good faith. Today, I want to talk about the news I have on the vaccination as it concerns Africa, my continent I love so much. Please, if you have not subscribed to M Spatial, do me a favor to subscribe. This is a channel where you get the African news in a rightful perspective, in good analysis, and you get to have the final say through your comments, because it's the same news that we all read. I analyze it in my own view and I give you the forum for us to interact through your comments. Also put on your notification bell, touch it all, so that whenever I upload a video, you will be the first, among the first to see the video. M Spatial, I do upload video at least twice a week, depending on my time and how the news comes. I may upload daily, I may upload twice a week. On M Spatial, you will not miss any news about the continent of Africa, especially about my Biafra land. So this news is about the happenings of COVID as it concerns Africa and African leaders. I want to read the news. After reading it, I'm going to analyze it. And after watching, please, you have the final say. Do comment on it. And together, we will leave the world better than we met it. African countries look beyond West for vaccines. African countries are looking beyond the West in the global vaccine race donation by Europe and the US, with policymakers across the continent seeking jabs from the likes of Russia and China. Officials in countries from Kenya to Guinea are in talk with China and Russia to procure vaccines to supplement the global World Health Organization-backed COVAX facility that aim to provide developing countries with enough jabs for at least 20% of their populations. Nigeria's drugs regulator has received doses for 2 vaccines from Russia and India, as Africa's most populous country seeks to work around the global shortage. Health Minister Osagie Ehanire told reporters on Monday it has been hard for African countries to buy Western developed jabs, as most have been pre-ordered by wealthier countries. So we all have had it. African countries are looking up to Russia and China for vaccine of the COVID vaccine, as we all know what we are into. And I ask, and I continue to ask, and I will not stop asking until I see something changing in my continent. Of all these problems, since the beginning of the COVID news, my continent, Africa, and the people on the seat of power that's supposed to know better have never risen up to put their own narrative on what is going on around the globe. African leaders have always sought help from outsiders. Yet, when you go outside, the African people are in most important positions of these help centers that they are running to. Take the vaccination for an example. Since the onset of the COVID pandemic, my continent has never given their own news concerning their own people. The news that the African people has always received on their main media are all copy-paste news. News that has nothing to do with the continent. News that has nothing to do with the reality on ground concerning the COVID on the continent. So I ask, if the African leaders truly love Africa, will they govern or oversee the affairs of Africa the way they do? In their own homes, in their own individual families, when they have problem there, or they are planning to have a merriment party, do they go outside to ask the outsiders, even their closest relatives, on how they will go about that partying or how they will solve the problem? Won't they start from inside? And when they cannot handle it, they will look for somebody they trust to come in. As we know, the African way of life is an intimate way of life. We live inward and not outward. But the leaders that are on the seat of power have, because of money and corruption and where they have put themselves before in the world, they have chosen to be a thorn on the flesh of the African citizens. When this COVID-19 erupted, my own Professor Iwu from Biafra land was the very first professor in the whole world, that was March 2020, to come up with a vaccination. He was the very first person that says that this pandemic must need a vaccination, and he has the solution. But the wicked and imposed company called Country in Nigeria refused to even have a look to what he was saying. All the countries in Africa, their president had the news because it was online. And today, are they telling me that inside Africa, the scientists of Africa cannot produce a vaccination in the 21st century? We all have seen the controversy on this vaccination, especially on time. And the debate behind it is that time has improved, that it's not supposed to take long time as it used to take. Yet, my own Africa cannot even boast of trying to see for themselves what they can do for their own city. African leaders have vowed to continue to put Africa in debt. There is no job in Africa. There is no good life. Their own children are not even in the continent. A nation that is spread, or a continent that is spread all over the world for as little as good livelihood, should be ashamed of itself. And in the whole continent of the world, it's only Africa. Because yes, we have those that are engineering what is happening in Africa, but are those people also engineering the head of the people in Africa? Even if they put you there to do their jobs, there are things as a man, as a person, as a human being, you can say no to. What makes a human being a coward is when you don't know when to say yes and when to say no. And when your own life does not even matter. And when your dignity is not on the forefront. And when you refuse to think of what history will talk about you when you backed off life. And this is exactly what the African leaders are doing to African citizens. They are rushing to Russia. When this vaccination came out, Russia president refused and said it with his mouth that he is not going to take the vaccination made in Russia. But he ordered his citizens to go and take the vaccination. And we all know the controversy of the pandemic with African people in China. No matter the debts our governments in Africa are owing China, does that mean that they cannot also talk for themselves? Is Africa not the one that's supposed to blow the pipe? Tell me what you think on this video. Is it right that in a global pandemic like this, Africa cannot be proud of made in African vaccination? Putting in mind the high and the qualified African scientists inside and outside Africa, our leaders refuse to do the needful to save this money for Africans, knowing that even in all this, we are not the ones that are being wished well. As you can see, they want to provide for 20% of our population. 20, not even 50, not even half, 20. Yet, we Africans believe that we have people that speaks for us. What a shame. Let me hear from you. What do you think? Is that right? That there's no made in Africa vaccination, at least for Africans? We consume what we make. If we don't start making our own, how can we industrialize? This was the problem Mugabe had with the West. This was the history most Africans don't understand. The problem we have in Africa is the thinking faculty and the way the people on seats of powers across Africa reasons. It is time we, the citizens of Africa, will continue to rise up and refuse to be enslaved forever. It is too long, and we have to rise up now. Thank you, and God bless you as you continue to watch and subscribe to M Special, where you get the first-hand news about my continent, Africa, in general. Bye, and God bless you.